What's good, everybody? You know, it's that time of week. You got Jada.
And Camille.
And shout out Kai.
Hi.
And we are calling all boss babayas and creative kabayan. We're out here redefining what it means to be a tita.
Thank you so much for joining us on your weekly break. Whether you're cooking for the family, doing laundry, or just chilling on the couch catching up, we're so grateful that you're here with us. Pull out your phone, like, subscribe, follow at Tita Salita on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, and TikTok.
I'm so
Thank
extra.
you.
Yeah. Oh, another week, another episode. The sun is out. The temperatures are rising. It is giving me life. I don't know if anybody else at home is having the same feeling or if you feel the same.
It's March break, so I feel like there's some activity happening. Like the city feels a little more alive. Everything is thought out, including the people. I feel like there's
100%.
You know, everyone's just really feeling the warmth of the sun.
Yeah.
And just excited to be out and about. Kids are happy to be off school. Some parents are off.
Shout out to the parents that are also keeping busy because you guys are on March break.
Seriously. It is no joke.
Yep.
Speaking of another week, we got another Filipino phrase.
Yes, we
this
do.
week.
Who's going to say it? Me or
You give it a shot.
Okay, ready?
Shot. Yeah.
All right. Laban lang. Laban lang. Which means?
Keep fighting. Don't give up.
Because we all know we've been there. We get there.
Yeah.
For sure. Definitely having one of those weeks myself. But yeah, laban lang. Yeah. Keep pushing. Keep fighting. Also, just for peace of mind. Dre, are we saying it right?
Yeah, right. Seriously.
Yeah? Okay, we got a thumbs up from Clea Filbert, so we're good.
That's the first time, I think, that we didn't get it. Oh, we're improving.
Yes.
So happy. Oh, it's so fitting, especially since we had daylight savings on Sunday. We sprung forward an hour.
I know, that's a trick. I shared that with somebody and they actually didn't know. So reminder that in the fall we fall back and in the spring we spring forward. But I definitely felt it. I felt like I was groggy.
Oh, really?
Sunday, Monday, yeah.
I felt the opposite. I felt the opposite,
really?
Yeah, because I was actually restless a few days leading into, and then when it happened, I was fine.
Oh, yeah, that it's one of those you just have to get over it, and then we're back to scheduled programming, you know? Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So what do we got on the docket today? What do we have going on today?
Actually, I'm going to take a second to shout you out because I got a new follower. And at first I was like, is this a fake profile? No. Please let the people know because the people got to know, Cam.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Okay, wasn't expecting this.
Surprise.
Thank you. I did switch brokerages. I am now with Remax Hallmark First Group Realty in Pickering. And I teamed up with the Rise Real Estate Group and my friend Anita Sandys. So you're going to be seeing our faces all over Durham. Thank you. So keep an eye out for a face near you.
And speaking of Durham, you just did an open house this past weekend.
I did.
That house was nice.
It was
gorgeous. It's by the water.
Yes.
Even my cousin, she texted me and she was like, I want this house. I said, me too.
It was beautiful. When I was there, I brought my husband with me. He's an electrician. I like to do open houses with at least one expert with me.
Nice.
Just to have someone for the people to talk to if they have any questions. And it was beautiful. I'm like, we need to put an offer on this house. It was gorgeous. Like the natural light that came through.
No, so nicely
beautiful.
Done, yeah.
And it was a deep lot. And
whoever staged are all
gorgeous.
Chef's
gorgeous.
Kiss. So good.
All the renovations were done within the last year.
Oh,
and there was a whole 400 square foot addition that was on the house.
Added on.
Yeah. So it was it created this beautiful flow, and you would go into the bottom there, and it was this area just before the basement, and even the basement had really good natural light. It was just a dream, honestly.
That's a huge bonus for basement.
Yeah,
you lose
right.
light sometimes when you get down there. So
dingy. Yeah.
So good. So if you're interested, definitely take a look.
Yeah, thanks for that, man.
Oh man, but we are so excited to have you guys here. We're happy to be back. And we got a lot of good topics that we're going to talk about. But
oh my gosh, yes.
We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back. We are going to kick things off by talking about a little bit of culture and entertainment, pop culture and entertainment.
So speaking of, I saw this post come up, but do you remember Fyre Fest?
Oh my gosh, that whole fake concert or whatever? Like,
Yeah, it was a whole festival. They made it seem like this was like the best of the best, upscale. Ja Rule was attached to it.
Oh my gosh.
And he scammed people out of like, what was like 26 million or something like that. And it was a terrible experience. Like all of the irrigation got flooded.
Oh my gosh.
The gourmet food was like a grilled cheese sandwich and styrofoam. Like it was terrible. And as an event coordinator, the amount of anxiety that the Netflix documentary gave me, it was like, when is someone gonna stop? When is someone gonna pull the plug? Because it just kept getting worse and worse, and he kept digging himself more and more into a hole until obviously it all blew up in his face.
Is it still on Netflix? Because I actually never watched it.
100% watch it.
Oh my gosh.
Fyre Fest. And actually, for anyone else, there's also Woodstock 99. That's another one. It was basically, I don't know if it was MTV or not, but they were trying to recreate Woodstock from like the 70s, 60s, 70s, but then it was like taking place in the 90s. Anyways, really interesting stuff. It all blew up. Interesting watch for sure.
Wow.
But anyways, so the guy who did it, Billy McFarland, he went to jail for 4 years for fraud. Yep, for 26 mil. But now he is doing a Fyre Fest 2.0. Okay, no Ja Rule. I don't think Ja Rule is attached this time. But it's set in May. It's going to be in Mexico. He wants it to be one of the first festivals to sell out with no artists. So now there's not even any artists.
So a bigger scam.
Thank you.
That's what it sounds like.
Yes.
A bigger scam.
If you
he
buy
wants
tickets
to break the record for a bigger scam.
I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, and it's funny enough, he can't even attend this event because he's on parole.
Oh my goodness.
Guys, all the red flags. Red flags. Don't buy tickets.
Is there anything that says that the tickets have been sold, or like have they
no
been
one's
opened?
confirmed, but the tickets are ranging from $1,400 to $1.1 million. Let's also remind ourselves this is USD, okay? Canadian conversion sucks right now, but so just do the math.
Gosh.
Well, who is buying tickets for something like this?
I'm so curious.
That's
really
what I
am
wanna
so
know.
curious because like who approved the marketing for this conversation?
Seriously, where did the money come from? Because he just got out of jail.
What is happening?
But yeah, this is definitely a story of like Delulu is his Salulu. But I just thought it was funny. I can't believe that he's actually trying to do this all over again.
That is so crazy.
I know.
That sounds wild. Please don't buy tickets.
Don't buy tickets, guys. You're better than that. You know better than that.
My goodness. Wow, that's a lot. Okay.
Okay, but you know what else is happening? But this one's like legit. Backstreet Boys at the Sphere in Vegas.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
No, honestly, my heart dropped when I saw the ad pop up on my phone. Tickets are already on sale. I think the lowest is like $289.
That's not so bad.
Which is not
Backstreet
bad.
Boys, like, come on.
And you're gonna be in Vegas. Also, the Sphere is like
It's
on my bucket list. I need to go there at least once.
Oh my, it's a whole experience.
And you can see it, like if you ever fly into Vegas, like you can see it from the airport.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
So amazing.
See, that's the kind of technology that I like. Those kind of advancements, you know?
Bringing our boy bands back. And just creating that experience from when we were tweens.
But yes, shows are going to be in July and August, and they've staggered all the weekends because, yeah, I can only imagine the amount of energy that goes into performing multiple nights or having any kind of residency in Vegas. But more importantly, I need to know who is your favorite Backstreet Boy member?
Listen, okay, you really want to get into this right now?
Yes, girl, I do.
This has been an evolution, okay? And I think it's obvious. So first and foremost, that first music video, Get Down, they're all wearing their little orange and yellow, right? With their little gelled hair and whatever, their little moves on that little half disco ball.
Yep.
So at the time, I was extremely young. I don't even know how young.
Yes, weren't we all?
But very young. I don't even think we were teens yet. Like,
no,
at least
definitely
not
me. Yeah.
Nick Carter was it for me. And I think they knew what they were doing, planting him, you know, with that split down the middle, straight
that
blonde,
classic 90s mushroom cut.
So that was it for me. And then like the whole, like they're just a little bit down, you know, like it was just, but Brian also stood out. AJ stood, like that one, in that video, everyone stood out for me.
Yeah, it was like just a hot group of boys.
But Nick was it, like he was it. And then Quit Playing Games with My Heart came out.
Ooh.
And to me, that was like the Brian and Kevin show.
Big
Actually,
tune.
all of them. Like AJ, like I watched the video again recently.
Yeah. Actually, you know, I should pull up some as well.
Yeah. So it was just one of those things where it was just like, it was everyone, but mostly Nick. And then as time went on, I would say it kind of rotated throughout the other four, because like Brian had a sophistication about him and his voice that I really liked. I loved his hairstyle.
His eyes, I don't know, or like I don't know, the looks.
He was just so like suave.
Yeah.
Kevin, I liked his like he was older, he was mysterious.
Yeah.
Like he didn't develop for me till like a little bit later, I think.
Yes.
Because I thought he was a little too old at one point, but I was just too young. And then obviously Howie, you know, with like the tan skin and like the cool hair, and like AJ, like the bad boy. It's just
the formula, the boy band formula.
They knew what they were doing.
I feel like I have a similar lead up. It was like Nick. I don't know, just
there was something.
Just naturally,
they knew what they were doing.
Nicholas, you know, just gravitated towards him. Then Brian, I was like, you know what? He's cute. I like him.
Yeah,
he sings really good. I like him. AJ, because he was the bad boy, just like, oh, he's rambunctious. And then Kevin was like, but wait a minute, what about that quiet one in the back?
Right.
And he sang. What was the song? And he finally got a solo.
I Want It That Way.
Was it I Want It That Way?
I think so, where he's like, now I can
yes,
see
I was like, Kevin got up
right? Like, and it's a main music video, right? Like
that was a good one. And here's my personal experience. Howie didn't do it for me.
I understand. But in the Quit Playing Games with My Heart video, and even the Get Down video, it was his hair. Like they did it, whatever they did with his hair, it was very similar to Brian's hair, and it worked. It just worked.
They got it.
It really worked out. But beyond that, over the years he had like long hair and different hair, and like I agree, like he wasn't like a strong.
But I would never get rid of him.
No,
like it's like
he's required.
Exactly, 100%.
He's a necessary part.
Love you, Howie, but yeah, it took a while for me to get to you. You know?
Yeah,
anyhow,
funny. That's so funny.
But
oh, sorry.
I know. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then have you heard of this like glitter trend about married men?
Enlighten me.
Yes. Okay. So let me just pull up my notes here.
Glitter and married men.
So there's a new trend online where basically when you go on a date, because you don't know if the man's like married or not, you cover yourself in glitter. And it will repel married men because they can't be going home to their wives with glitter on them.
Oh my gosh.
What a concept. The internet.
Yeah. What?
But I just thought that was really interesting.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about that. Wow. Yeah, no, I mean,
but also kind of sad that we have to resort to these tactic guys. Like, can everyone just be honest?
Yeah, exactly. Because like, it's just, what are you supposed to do? But yeah, that's an interesting tactic.
Right? It's like, how did someone even think of that? Yeah. Do you think social media has made it easier for men in relationships to be sneaky?
I think it made it easier for everyone. I don't know about easier, but like, so before cell phones, before BBM, before social media, you could kind of just do stuff in person, right? And and no one would find out unless the people were there or there was like a witness or something like that, right? Yeah. I'm thinking like true crime, like unsolved mysteries. I don't know why my mind went there, but it did. But then like now I feel like everything's kind of exposed. Everyone has phones. There's cameras everywhere. If you watch like crime shows, they're like tapping into different cameras that are everywhere. So like in that way, I don't really feel like it makes it easier. But because being on your phone is such a norm, there is like that opportunity for people to be more secretive because you don't know what accounts they have, if they have like what social media they have, because there's the social media that we know about, and then there's like the other stuff that you may not be privy to, and I'm not going to talk about it here on this show. But so in that way, it kind of does, and then it does make it easier to kind of like, I guess, cheat, whether it's like through text, sending photos, or like whatever, and you just have that much more access to women or men or whatever, right? Like there's a larger pool like at the click of a button. So
see, that's the thing. I think it's a little bit of both. Like I think that social media makes it hard, especially if you're present or like in the eye, because then you're getting tracked online, and that kind of puts not a target on you, but then you also have like things like there are like those Facebook group chats.
Oh my gosh,
where you can be like, this is my partner, are they cheating or are they dating anyone, right? Like it gives you
I'm dating her too, or whatever it's called. Like there's like that group,
anyways, I think that's pretty interesting. I don't know how you guys feel at home. But I think
would you use the glitter tactic? Curious.
I may or may not have it already in my cart. We'll see.
Okay. It's also hard to wash off.
I was going to say, but then you have to wash it off, which is like a little difficult.
Crazy.
Anyways. All right, well, we'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Tita Salita, and right now we're about to talk about the Titas in the city. So Cam, what's new? What's popping? What's going on?
We had a rate announcement today. So the Bank of Canada shared that they cut the key interest rate by 1/4 point. So we are
still
now
going, still on the decline.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
So now we're sitting at 2.75%, which is great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I remember didn't you say at one point like 3 was the like what we wanted to hit or something?
Yeah.
Right?
So it was just kind of like a key, but they were talking a lot last year about kind of being in this range. I think what no one really, I guess, considered were the tariffs that Trump was discussing, and that's kind of what the Bank of Canada is doing with this lowering of interest rate. Is they're just trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
No one really knows how crazy it's going to be, and this is the thing. It's not the only thing that's going to help us recover from something like this, but they're trying to be a little proactive and just kind of help out the country.
We're taking all the help that we can get, right?
Because outside of the tariff announcements, I'm not sure if you're aware, but he actually doubled the tariffs on aluminum and steel. So it's a 50% tariff on aluminum and steel that he announced, I think, like 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah, because first it was like, oh, there's a pause, and I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we have some time. And then it was like, right after, and it's like, actually double.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like all the responses that the government and these different organizations are having are just, we're just trying to figure it out. They're all just trying to figure it out and help in real time as much as possible to try to mitigate what's to come. No one really knows. We
and
anticipate.
This has never happened before.
Yeah,
right?
like to this extent. So. We'll see. Like we had an increase in our growth as a country with our GDP. It was at 2.6% last quarter, or sorry, Q4 of last year. So, but these tariffs are really just weighing down on the instability of the future of the economy. So we don't know what's to come. The Bank of Canada is trying to do their best, but again, not the only factor that is going to help combat whatever's to come with these tariffs. So just something to be on the lookout for. I will say the prices in the market right now are pretty good. There are some increases that are happening, but for the most part, I am still seeing that some buyers in some areas are controlling the market. But it really depends on where you're looking. So if you're looking to make a move, now might be the time to refinance. If you're looking to refinance or get qualified for a mortgage because the rate is more favorable, which means that your interest is a little bit lower. And of course, like I always say, date the rate, marry the mortgage. At the end of the day, the price is what you pay. The mortgage rate will always change, whether it's you sign on for a year, 3 years, 5 years, whatever the case may be. Just lock in at that price, because the price that you pay is the price that is with you for the rest of your mortgage term or your amortization period. So,
all right.
A lot.
So let's see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
Come back next week. Get your updates.
Awesome.
And actually, you know what? I saw online a few posts go up. Scarborough Walk of Fame 2026 nominations are up.
Yes.
Speaking of what's happening in the city.
Yes.
So for anyone who was impacted by Scarborough through the arts, who has impacted Scarborough through arts, business, community service, sports and recreation, or innovation, definitely nominate them. Yeah. This is spearheaded by Scarborough's Community Renewal Organization, and the direct audience needs to go to www.scarboroughwalkoffame.com. So that's where you can go, get all your information. If there's someone that you see in the community doing their thing, definitely give them the flowers and then throw a nomination in.
Is there anyone that you can think of that, sorry to put you on the spot now.
Cam.
I know, right? Is there anyone that you can think of that you would nominate? Man. Yeah, because it's a big deal.
Actually, no, I'm gonna piggyback right off it. Jesse Aceto, definitely one of the top contenders in my opinion. Shout out because they're Filipino. Hey, to definitely be nominated. How about you?
I would have to say the same. Obviously, we had Jesse on the show last year, and we're very intentional about our guests.
Of course.
Very, very grateful for what he's doing with putting Scarborough back on the map. And just like, there's this whole culture that we kind of like knew about, but it wasn't popular yet.
Yes. You would just make the jokes with your friends.
Yeah, who were from Scarborough.
Exactly.
And it's just like, if you know, you know. Like I feel like that's like our 100%, slogan.
Yeah.
And he's just doing such great work, not just with Scarborough Spots the store and the merch and all that fun stuff, but like Scarborough's a joke. I know
no
he has
longer
a hand in
just a page for memes. Like in terms of what Scarborough Spots has grown to be.
Exactly. it's just like a whole, it's like, I don't even have the words really to describe what it means, but it's such a feeling, and like, kudos to you. Thank you so much for what you do, Jessie, for the community.
100%.
And it's just amazing. It's honestly just amazing. I can't say that enough. So hopefully he gets his star. I don't know. That would be really cool to see. Yeah.
Speaking of stars, also, do you know how to make this into a star?
What?
Oh, hello. I saw a low hanging fruit. I had to take it.
That was cute.
But speaking of stars, movie stars, you know what's coming back this year? Sine Institute.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So I had the pleasure of going last year. It was really great, highlighting Filipino directors, cinematographers, so honoring all the incredible talent and the artistry of Filipino filmmakers around the world. So this is going to happen April 10th to 13th. It's going to be at Hotel X.
Oh, that's soon.
Beautiful venue. So yeah, and it's the second year. So
where can we get tickets?
Keep going. That is a good question. I'm going to have to Google that, right?
I think it's online, right?
Pause. Yeah, no, definitely online. If you Google it, it should pop up.
Wow. That's
Sine
amazing.
Institute.
SINE.
Yes, SINE.
Yeah, film festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sine Institute.
Yes.
Is what you have to go to.
So definitely go and check it out. And if you're going to be downtown, you know what another cool restaurant is coming? Or
more restaurants? Yes.
there's a new restaurant coming.
Oh my gosh, please. What is it?
And actually, please forgive me if I'm not pronouncing it properly. So the owners of Phae Tavern, one of the owners, he's Filipino, so shout out Jeff.
Oh, hi.
And then his wife, Chef Nui, is Thai.
Oh my gosh.
They are also partnered with Janet Zuccarini, excuse me if I didn't pronounce that properly. So she owns Gusto, Chubby's, other restaurants. So they're all coming together for a new restaurant, Phae Tavern, coming to Toronto. It's inspired by Thai Phae Gate in Thailand, but it's to take on modern Thai food, cocktails. There's going to be claw machines and karaoke rooms. Hello.
What? You're speaking my language.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
Right? So this is set to open actually April 2025, so it's around the corner. It's actually around the same time. There you go.
Wow.
At Sine Institute. They're going to be located on 221 Richmond Street West. So definitely another restaurant that I want to check out. Pie, it's one of my favorite restaurants.
Wow.
So definitely going to check them out. So,
full disclosure, I don't spend a lot of time downtown.
Yeah.
But I will go for this. But I will definitely check this out. That sounds amazing. You karaoke rooms. Do you remember like back in the day? Yeah, like just going to those and it's like all you can eat, all you can drink, and then you can just...
There's been all-you-can-eat karaoke rooms?
Yeah.
Ooh, was I living under a rock? I'm just learning this now.
I was in like, it was more like in the Chinese...
Oh, I see, okay.
Like industry or scene. So, and I just where I grew up.
They want us to leave.
Yeah. It was like the best thing ever. So, and we used to mix like Shivas with green tea.
Oh.
It's like such a good combination. Anyways.
Hello, new comment.
Talk about that.
But yeah, I don't know what else, if we have anything else right now. But if you have anything that's going on in the city and we're not shouting it out, let us know. Send us a DM, send us a post, whatever. We're always looking for what's happening so we can share with the audience. So.
And for all you Scarborough folks, Morningside is still in theaters.
Yes, it's the last week, so make sure you go and get your tickets. They're only playing it at Scarborough Town Center and Morningside.
Yeah, I think it's the last week. Yeah, I think it is.
Is it?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll double check
I saw a few show times and then nothing past a certain date. So just in case, either way, go see it. It's an amazing film.
I feel like the response has been great, though, right? So who knows? Maybe we can get more dates in the future.
I know, that'd be cool.
Keep asking, but.
It's playing at Scarborough Town Center, Morningside, and I think Young and Dundas as well.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I'm pretty
nice.
sure. Yeah,
Love
so
that.
go to Cineplex.com, search for whichever's closest to you. It'd be cool to watch Morningside in Morningside, though, so maybe do that. Awesome.
All right.
We'll be right back with Am I Bastos?
Welcome back. Right before we get into Am I Bastos, which, we all love, there's definitely two headlines that we wanted to just jump into. One being, for people out there who don't know, Duterte has been arrested. And I think, full transparency, I know who he is, and I've heard headlines here and there, but I didn't fully know what happened. So I'm just going to do a quick summary here in terms of what has happened to lead up to his arrest, which happened recently. So in terms of his background as Davao mayor, Rodrigo Duterte, known for his stringent anti-drug policies, earned the nickname the Punisher during his tenure as mayor of Davao City. Presidential campaign promises. In his 2016 presidential campaign, Duterte vowed to eradicate drug-related crime, openly stating intentions to kill drug pushers and criminals. So he had a nationwide anti-drug campaign. So after assuming the presidency on June 30th, 2016, Duterte launched an aggressive anti-drug campaign. By the end of that year, over 2,000 individuals were killed in police operations, with authorities often labeling these incidents as shootouts. Official records indicated that at least 6,200 suspects were killed during this anti-drug operation by the end of his term in 2022. However, activists argue that the actual number is significantly higher, alleging many urban poor drug users were killed under dubious circumstances. So here's the interesting part. The International Criminal Court, ICC, started an investigation in 2018 where they initiated a preliminary investigation into the alleged extrajudicial killings associated with this drug war. Duterte responded by withdrawing the Philippines from the ICC in March 2019. Despite this, the ICC reactivated its investigation in 2023, citing concerns over the effectiveness of the Philippines' internal probes. On March 11, 2025, Duterte was arrested in Manila based on an ICC warrant related to crimes against humanity for the widespread killings during his anti-drug campaign. So this is pretty big. I'm interested to know how this is going to
play out,
yeah, and what that looks like. And like I said, I'll be the first to admit I'm not, in tune with all the headlines happening back home and knowing all the details, but I know that this is pretty massive.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it wasn't one of his family members, I think
his daughter
got
was up
reelected,
yeah.
and then that's another controversy within itself.
Yeah.
So do you think that the controversy surrounding this war will change how Filipino families talk about politics at gatherings, or?
Maybe not.
Yeah.
I think that it's always a topic of discussion, especially with like Bongbong Marcos and like, it's just not that Philippines political history has been, but it's we do have a bit of a colored past in that regard. So I don't think it'll necessarily change the conversation. I just think it'll add to the conversation because I think this is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, again, not super well versed in Philippine politics, but I think this is the first time that a elected official has been arrested.
Yeah. Oh,
right.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before. So please correct me if I'm wrong, but that does sound like a big deal. So in a way, it seems like progress. I don't know. I guess it depends on how you feel about Duterte, to be honest. But
I will say this: at least it's definitely gotten my attention that like I will do my research like after this episode, because the first time I saw this guy, there was he did like an ad right before Christmas where he was basically telling criminals like, enjoy your time because once this holiday is done, it was this drug war. Like he basically said I was gonna kill you. Like it was like something like that crazy. Yeah. And I was like, who is this? And it's like, Filipinos were known for being like loving and inviting and kababayan, but he definitely had an extreme approach. I understand sometimes when a problem, there's a really extreme problem, then you have to take extreme measures. But then, like, where do we draw the line, before you're doing way too much? So, yeah, I guess I'm definitely interested to see where this goes.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Because I think he laid out martial law, right, for the Philippines during that time. I'm not sure. But there was just a lot going on. Going on from that time. And I can't believe it was 2016 that this was like, right? It just seems like so recent.
Yeah. It feels like it was like a long time ago, but not a long time ago.
Not so much. Yeah. So crazy.
For sure. But in lighter news, is there anything else happening in the Philippines that you wanted to talk about?
Absolutely. So the Philippines Airline, they're coming out with I guess like a scholarship program where they're pledging 10 million pesos. No,
what?
1 million. Sorry, I lied. 1 million pesos to female pilots. It's called the Fly With Her program.
Oh, that's so cool.
No, I was right the first time. It was 10 million.
Oh, 10 million.
10 million,
there we
10
go.
million, 10 million pesos.
Stats,
Sorry.
you see
Wow,
that?
it's a lot of zeros.
Amazing.
Yeah, 10 million pesos.
So it's to encourage more females into that
Correct.
field?
Yeah, it's going to
Interesting.
they're splitting it equally amongst 4 different candidates. And the criteria on their website, if you go to philippineairlines.com/ph/en/flywithher.html, then you can get more information about the criteria, the terms and conditions that are required, because currently, I think it's in the world, there's only like 6% female pilots. And I think Philippine Airlines is sitting just above that average at like 9% of their 80 pilots that are females.
Okay.
So great, but still not enough.
But now let's continue to encourage
increase that. So they're doing this, and yeah, it's really exciting. So I got it actually in my email.
Tita, someone in the Philippines.
Yeah. Send them to that website, check out the criteria, and see if they qualify, because they're really specifically targeting people who need financial assistance to help eliminate that barrier. There will still, based on the explanation, be some fees that they will have to cover by themselves, but significantly, reduced based on what they're able to offer here through this.
Maybe you can get a discount once you know someone who's a pilot. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right?
No, I love that.
Yeah, beautiful.
Creating opportunities. Mm-hmm. All right. With that said, I think we dive into our favorite part.
Oh, am I bustos?
Am I bustos? We shall see. What stories do we got today?
Okay.
Let's see. Who? You want to take the first one?
You can take the first one.
Okay. Am I bustos? My fiance and my brother can't get along in a shared house.
Interesting.
What does that mean? All right, let's go.
It's a mystery to both of us, by the way. We did not read ahead.
Like, we pick the headline, but we don't know. So you're getting like the real reaction. So join us.
Right?
Okay. My fiance, a 23-year-old female, my brother, a 25-year-old male, and I, a 26-year-old male, have been living together in my late grandfather's house for about a year now.
Oh, wow.
Before she moved in, it was just me and my brother. The problem is that my fiance and my brother have really different standards when it comes to cleanliness, and it's just been causing issues.
Oh.
She complains to me about the mess he leaves, and when she does, I usually just clean it up myself. Then she gets annoyed and says I'm a pushover, but honestly, I don't mind doing it. My brother's really sensitive, and if I was constantly bringing stuff up to him, it would just make things awkward between us. Plus, my fiance knew what the house was like and how my brother is before moving in. Lately, it's been getting worse because my brother got a dog. Now my fiance's been pretty demanding with him telling him he has to buy certain things. I think there's a typo there. Has to clean up ASAP, etc. It's making the whole house tense. I told her she doesn't really have authority over him, and she's just making it worse, but she thinks it's my responsibility to make him change. I told her that at the end of the day, she can't make him do anything, and if she has a problem, she should bring it up to him directly. But she doesn't agree. And her family also thinks I should be the one dealing with it, which is frustrating. So I suggested that if it's bothering her that much, she could stay at her parents' place for now, and we can just live together after the wedding when we're ready to get our own place. I still see her and her family all the time, so it's not like we'd be apart much. She thinks I'm babying my brother, but I feel like she's overstepping by trying to control how he lives in a shared house. Am I bustos for telling her to just accept the situation or consider staying at home until we get our own place?
Oh my goodness.
And then there's an edit here that was included just to add contextual information because people are asking about the ownership of the house. It has been inherited by another family member who is letting us live there rent-free. We all split any added bills evenly. Also, our relationship is going great, and we know it isn't a permanent situation. The amount of people suggesting... Wait, did I read that properly? No, it isn't a permanent situation. The amount of people suggesting us to split up is wild. Getting advice on actual solutions to the situation would be great instead of just ending everything, LOL.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Initial thoughts.
Okay, I'm putting myself into the situation.
Yeah,
my sibling is dirty.
Yeah.
Or messy. And my partner is getting annoyed. it's a shared house. I think, okay, if I was to put myself in the situation, my partner's like, yo, your sibling's being really messy, like, can you please talk to them? I would look at it as like, yeah, I would go to my sibling and be like, hey, like if it was just me and my sibling, I think I'd be a little bit more lenient and be like, yeah, whatever, do your thing. But that's the main root word, is that it's a shared space. So we have to find some kind of middle ground, or at least in our common areas. You know what I mean? Yeah. If your room's messy, like that's on you. But like everything else, I think, and especially if there's a pet involved, like that's not just something you can like let run around. Like there's upkeep, and you definitely have to clean up after them. You know what? We're gonna pause right here, and we'll be right back with our last segment. Welcome back to Tita Salita. We are doing Am I Bastos? And we just, in our last segment, went through the story. So my POV, I don't think you're intentionally being bastos, but it is bastos. Actually, no. Okay, maybe I'm just being too nice about it. Yes, you're being bastos because you can't just tell your partner to be like, just accept it. And I think it is coddling bad behaviors. Again, if it was their own space, do whatever you want. But because it's a shared living space, I think that there has to be middle ground met. So I don't know, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree very much so. I do think it's not acceptable for you to just say to your fiance, suck it up. There was an agreement between all three of you for her to move in there. And as you said, it is a shared space. Yeah. So you share the space.
Yeah.
So if it was your own personal room, if it's his own personal room and there's a mess in there, whatever, he can do whatever he wants to do in there, I guess, so long as it doesn't compromise the integrity of the home's cleanliness. And in the shared areas, I very much agree. I mean, I run my household the same way. Everything is clean. It has to be clean. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Kitchen sink is clear. Counters are clean. Everything is clean. Like I personally could not live in a situation, like this is very personal to me, just I can see it through the fiance's perspective. Like, there's 100%. Just no way.
I would also be annoyed, or like, what a cop-out to be like, okay, well, if you have an issue, like, you talk to him. It's leave. Like, no, it's your sibling.
Or
like,
you
go
leave. Like, he told her to move in with her family.
It's like, we're there, like, really, like, this is an option.
Yeah.
Instead of you just saying, hey, clean up after yourself.
Exactly.
Or be more respectful of the shared space.
Yeah.
You want me to go live with my parents? Like, that would actually annoy me.
I don't know. And I guess he's saying his brother's sensitive, but at the end of the day, like, cleanliness, we're talking about cleanliness here. We're not talking about like, I don't even know, like your style or something like that. Like, we're talking about cleanliness. Like, that's very important, and it could be poor health, like especially if he has like pet mess that's just laying around, whatever the case may be.
Exactly.
Like, if the garbage isn't taken out or something, if it's spilled, like, no, absolutely not. No.
Yeah. So you're kind of bastos.
Yeah, I think you're bastos, so.
Definitely. Okay. Yay, we have time for another one.
Yeah, we do. Okay, so this one is, am I bastos for telling my friend that I was done inviting her to parties? Okay. Again, have not read this, don't know what's going to happen here. So I, a 22-year-old female, throw a lot of dinner parties, like a ton. Okay. I love to cook, so I always put food on the table, and I'm a pretty good chef, I'd say. One of my friends comes to all of them. The problem is she takes all the leftovers. Every single time.
This is a good one. I don't even know how it's going to end, but I just thought about one. But yes, go on.
Every single time that there's a scrap left, she takes it. And I appreciate that she doesn't want to waste the food.
Yeah.
That's not the problem. The problem is I want some leftovers too. So I told her when we were eating this time, hey, don't take the leftovers, okay? And she was like, yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Fast forward to the end of the party, she takes the leftovers. When I noticed later that night,
she wasn't listening.
Honestly, when I noticed later that night, I text her, say, hey, if you can't stop taking the leftovers, I'm not going to invite you anymore. She says, okay. She said, okay. Okay. Next time that she comes over for a party, I remind her when we're eating, don't take the leftovers. She says, okay. When she's about to leave, I was sitting near the table. Guess what I see? She's taking the leftovers. So I tell her that if she couldn't listen to a boundary I set, the clear consequence that I discussed with her was that she would not be invited to any more parties. She said that it wasn't fair that she couldn't have some, and she was only taking a bit this time. I'm not sure if that's true, but I told her I didn't want her to take any. She says okay and puts them back. Fast forward to next time I hosted a party. She isn't invited. Apparently she found out through the grapevine. Makes sense since we share quite a few friends.
Yeah.
And she got pissed as hell, saying that she put them back and I should have invited her again. I think she might be right. Am I bustos?
Sorry, say that last line one more time. Sorry.
So she was saying that because she put the leftovers back at the last party, that she should have been invited to this party. So now the person who's writing this is saying, I think she might be right. Am I bustos?
No. I don't think you're bustos. You said it not once, 2 times. Directly, you agreed. On top of that, it'd be different if like she was like, absolutely not, or state your case as to why you should be entitled, air quote, entitled to these leftovers. But you said yes, and you still did it, and then you want to act surprised why you didn't, when the consequence was laid out, like, you know? So, no, you're not bustos. I'm also just thinking of this friend. I'm trying to put myself in her position, like, if my friend said that to me, and there's a consequence, I'm just gonna listen. Also, like, yeah, I don't understand the behavior. Do you feel the same?
How awkward is it to have this conversation in the first place?
Yeah, first of all, I don't even want to have that
right?
combo.
Like, I'm thinking of like when you came over to my house.
Yeah.
And I was like, please take some. You're like, no, I can't. Like, you know, there's
Yeah,
just like
like
this
a little,
back and forth,
yeah.
right? And it just
to be
like,
expected.
Right? But I also think like from the perspective of the friend, is she going through a rough time? These people are in their early 20s, so that's the first thing that comes to mind. Is there something going on, and you guys are not having that
money.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
what's going
for
on?
real?
No,
Like,
but it's real talk.
you know
And if
what
it's
I
your real
mean?
friend, you can say that
You're
to be
taking
like, times
all
are
the
tight.
leftovers. I've never
Girl,
heard of someone
I'm
taking
starving.
all the leftovers.
Like,
I've definitely wanted to take all the leftovers,
100%,
but
yeah.
I've never done that.
I just think it's also common courtesy. Like,
This is what I'm saying. So if you don't have that, if you're lacking that, and you've already I think 2 or 3 times she's talked to her about it, and it's still happening, and she's still insisting that she has to take a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, what's the missing thing? Is it that she just doesn't respect your boundary, or is there another issue? I would have asked her straight up, like, hey, let's talk. Is there something going on that I need to know about? Like,
why do you keep taking my button?
I would just ask, like in a very
what's
real
going
way.
on, girl?
Yeah,
No, that's a
I would
valid
ask,
question.
because like, you know, early 20s, I don't know what their living situation is with these people.
Yeah.
Or if, you know, maybe she's in school and roughing it out and eating that, like, you know, tuna every night and ramen or whatever. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't understand what the situation is, but I really think that should be the first conversation. And I feel like, I don't think you're bustos per se, but I definitely think you could do a better job of just investigating a little further just to see.
True.
But that aside, like just to ask the question.
Yeah,
Just because
exactly.
it doesn't seem like she had a conversation with
Get
her.
the
It was
full
just
story.
like,
There
don't
could
take
be
the
more.
leftovers. Yeah.
Yes.
But on the other side of that, it's like, I just have never encountered that where someone takes all the leftovers.
Yeah. I
Like
also
you said,
wonder if
common
the host
courtesy.
could get ahead of it. Like, I also feel like, I don't know.
No, because if it's like a family style meal,
Yeah.
and the girl said she sat
But
by
you
the
need
table
to bring the
watch her.
Tupperware out for the baon. That's why I'm like,
Right.
like as a host, could I also like we finish the meal and then
Pack it
just
all up
take
and put
it? Yeah.
away?
So your homegirl doesn't even get the chance to, even though that's still weird that you have to do that.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. Like on the other side of it too, like I don't know if it's like a Filipino thing or what. Like if I'm cooking and there's food out, like I'm cooking. I cooked this for you guys.
Yeah. True.
You know
yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like-
to play devil's advocate, it's like you are cooking for
if
everyone.
I did cook when you guys came to my house for cabbage rolls. I made a
so
separate tray for my family that was not even
Yes,
like out. We
it
didn't
wasn't
talk
even part
about
of
it.
the serving for us, anyways.
Like it
but
was
you planned
completely
ahead
separate. Yeah.
thinking of that.
Like,
so.
you know what I mean? So it wasn't like I brought it out and was like, hey, yeah, and then brought like it was a completely separate thing. So if it's something that I don't know, to me like it's not so black and white for me because yes, your friend is rude for not listening, but I don't know what kind of conversation you had or what she's going through.
Yeah, or
So I
how
don't wanna
close you really are with this friend, or if it's just like, hey, social circle, and I like
or if
throwing
you think she's
dinner
just
parties, like
you know, because some people are like that, they just leech off you. So like,
I was
don't
about to
know,
say that.
right?
I'm
I
like,
have
there
no
are also
idea.
people who are just takers. Like they will
Exactly.
take
Just because.
until it's literally like not an
Exactly.
option,
Exactly.
and that's just human nature. I feel like everybody has out. They know 1 or 2 people who are like that.
So if she's a leech to you, okay, like I get it, but if she's not, like I just don't know, right?
Yeah.
Like that piece is missing for me. There wasn't enough context for me personally, but generally speaking, I mean, you set a boundary. Ideally, your friend should, but it's food. I don't know. You're hosting a dinner party. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
I guess
know.
it's like the unspoken words or rules of baon taking or packing
well, I mean,
up.
if you're taking all of them, that is weird. Because
That's another thing. Yeah, to take all of them. Yeah.
Like, you know, and like not even offering to your friends, like, hey, like, did you want to keep some?
There's other people at this party. Like, that's another thing to consider.
Like, how many times have you gone to a family party? I've definitely been this person when I'll go to a tray and it's like, maybe it's like pancit, let's say. And there's like only a little bit left. And I'm like, okay, like, and maybe someone sees me having like that
so
conversation with
Filipino.
myself.
There could be one bite left, and none of us are taking it because we don't want to.
And then
be that
someone,
person.
whoever, the host, the tita, whatever, will come and be like, "Oh my gosh, please finish
Just
it!
eat
Like,
it.
You know, there's so much or whatever."
Yeah.
So like, I just don't understand not having that courtesy.
Sure.
So I feel two ways about it.
But then it's also like, I guess with baon rules, like there's also that. There's the first come first serve rule too. But then I guess at what point are you just that, which still stands, but if you're doing it every single time and not leaving anything for anybody.
Yeah, for anybody. She's taking all the she said all the leftovers.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Share the love.
Yeah. Share the food.
Share the love, share the food. Most importantly, what's our Filipino phrase again? Let's get it. Laban lang, keep pushing through. But another week, another episode. Sun is out, staying out for longer. Hope y'all have a good week. Join us back next week.
Yeah, we'll see you.
And until then, ingat.
Ingat.